Hi, and welcome back to a new 5-part series of Cooking with Nick. I'm Nick Rizzo, and during this session, I will show you with a little pre-planning how to produce a 4-course, delicious and healthy meal in under an hour. So sit back, relax, grab a pencil and paper to take notes so you can make this meal at home. My class is ready, and they look hungry, so I have to get started. For tonight, what we're going to do is we have the piccata. Basically, what piccata means is it's meat that comes with the lemon caper sauce. Okay, so what you can do: chicken piccata, pork piccata, ham piccata, whatever you want to do. You can use piccata. Piccata is basically the way the chicken's cut is very thin. Okay, so the meat is very, very thin. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to start out with tomato, spinach, and mushroom soup. I'll show you how to make that. A very good soup that freezes well. Okay, you can put it in a container, make a big batch, put it in the freezer. It freezes well. It's always good to whip out, have for lunch or whatever. Very easy to make, and it makes a lot. Okay, so you can't make soup for 2 people. Okay, you can't do that. So we'll do that. Then we're going to go on to the side dish, which is a really quick baked ziti. Okay, everybody has their version of baked ziti. Some have ricotta cheese in it. Some have different kinds of cheese, 4 different kinds of cheeses, whatever. I'll show you how to make that. It's real simple. With a little preparation, you could have it done in 20 minutes. Okay. Then I'll make the chicken piccata, and then show you how to do that. Save a little money on the kind of chicken to purchase when you do that. Okay, and then we're going to have a chocolate ricotta cream with some ladyfinger dippers for dessert. Okay, and that's a dessert. A lot of people don't use ricotta cheese for dessert. I like ricotta cheese. So if you cream it in your food processor, it gets really, really smooth, and it comes out like a mousse. So I'll show you how to make that. Very, very quick, very simple dessert. This recipe right here will probably be one of your go-to meals if you have people coming for dinner and you want to make something really quick. And with a little preparation, you could have this on the table in 40 minutes. You're all done. Okay, so that's going to be our goal tonight. I'm going to have all of this done in 45 minutes. Okay, by 8 o'clock, you will all have eaten dinner, be stuffed, and on your way home. Okay, so I'm going to give you the recipes, and then we'll get started. I want to thank Izzy for helping me do the recipes.
Thank you.
And we have royalty here tonight, so I want you to know that Maggie's visiting from England. She actually works for the Queen. So okay, get my hands in quick. I did wash my hands before. I'm just going to wash them again before we get started.
Do you have any openings for any of your other classes?
They're all filled. Yeah, unless somebody cancels, and I'll give you a call if it's just 1 or 2.
Just
One.
She might have one, too.
Okay, I can. If somebody cancels, I can give you a call. Okay. So what happened is I had groups of people wanted to take it 3 at a time, or 4, and then so I got kind of over on a couple, But the reason I like to keep it to 12 is because what I do is I'll prepare a dinner for 6 while I'm up here, and that's what the recipe is basically designed for, except for the soup. Well, they're Italian recipes, so it's going to feed more than 6. Okay, so that's basically what I do. And then at home, I do a prep, and I bring 6 with me that are already done. So everybody will get to eat. So when you see me making only 6 up here, you don't have to cut the chicken breast in half. Okay, you don't have to share it. People used to get nervous about that. Okay, so if we're ready, we're going to get started. I'm going to start with the soup. That's the first thing I'm going to do, because once we finish the soup and that's ready to go, I'm going to prep the ziti and get that ready to go in the oven. In the meantime, you're going to eat. Okay, you eat in courses here. Okay, you'll have the soup first, then you'll have the side dish and the piccata, and then you'll have dessert. Okay, so that's how that's going to work. So what I'm going to do is get the pot going, and basically what I'm going to, I really never cook with a recipe, so this is very hard for me to do this. So I have Linda who sits in the front and makes sure everything gets in it, okay? Because sometimes it changes. So, but believe me, when I do the prep at home, I follow the recipe and they all work. So don't worry about that they don't work, okay? And you could talk to each other because by the end of the night, you're all going to smell like garlic and lemon. So, you know. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some olive oil just to coat the bottom of this soup pot. Just, you know, not a whole lot, just to get it going. Let that heat up a little bit. We follow the recipe. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up some onion. This is just a regular yellow onion. You could get frozen onions, which I never knew they had in the store, frozen chopped onions. Did you ever see those? I discovered those one day in the store. But I tried them, and they're very watery. You know, so I guess if you defrost them really well and stick them on a paper towel, they would be okay. But some things it's better to just cut up. Now, because this is going to be a soup, it's going to be a chunky soup, so we're not going to mince anything. We're just going to do rough chop. Okay, so let me get this going. One time I moved this pail over here by me, and I walked right over it. So, but our cameraman is very good, and he edits out like some of the Italian words that he doesn't know what they mean, or you know, or a lot of some of the other stuff that goes on here. So we'll get that going. So I'm just going to rough chop this onion and get it in the pot. Now, how do we know that when we put the onions in there? How do you basically know when they're ready to add other stuff? They turn translucent and they start to sweat. Okay, so just like us, when they sweat, they smell, and that's how you know they're ready to go. So, okay, that's what you want to hear. You always want to preheat your pot. You want to make sure that the pot is ready for you, and you're not ready. You know, it's not waiting for you to heat up. So, we get that in there. And I have in this jar a combination of salt and pepper. Okay, it's half salt, half pepper. And I like to do that, and I keep it on the counter because most of the recipes you look at say add salt and pepper. Okay, so why have two containers? Just add salt and pepper. So I mix it together and throw it in there. Okay, and at this point I'm just going to add a little bit of salt just so that it draws the moisture out of the onions, and the onions will start to sweat. Okay, that's what you're looking for. Okay, so we got those in. We got mushrooms. And garlic. Of course, you have to have garlic. Okay? So what I do is I put garlic in a baggie like this. When you get the whole clove, you know how it's hard to pull them apart? If you put them in a baggie like this, or a sandwich bag, and put them in there and just smash it, the cloves will fall apart. Okay? So then you'll have individual little cloves, which is a lot easier to get out than trying to dig in there and pull them out. So, and then to get them going, give them a smash, and the skins come right off. Okay? If you have people in your house who don't like to eat garlic, but they like the taste of garlic, okay, some people, you know, they eat the garlic and they get what Italian, it's called agita. You know, and you taste the garlic. So some people don't like that taste. So if you have people in your house who like that, put the whole clove garlic in there, saute it, and then at the end just take it out. So you'll have all the garlic taste, but you won't have the garlic in there. Does anybody in here get agita? Nope, too bad. So I'll put that one in. This one I'm going to give a little chop, okay, just to spread it around. Now you want to make sure you have something in the pot before you put the garlic in, otherwise the garlic burns very, very quickly. Okay, so you want to make sure you have that in there. Okay, so those, I don't know if you could see up there, but they're starting to turn a little bit. So what I'm going to do now is add the mushrooms. And these are baby bella mushrooms. You can use white mushrooms, but the mushrooms, whether you buy them whole or whether you buy them sliced, are basically the same price when you go to the store. So I always buy them sliced. It's much easier. Okay, so I don't know how much the recipe calls for, but I'm going to put in about 3/4 of this. Okay. I like mushrooms. Of course, I'm not eating this soup. You are. So, do you like mushrooms? Okay, so I'll put that in. That looks good. Okay, give it a stir. Okay, now when you're sauteing mushrooms, a good hint for you is if you want them to get color on it, if you want them to get a little bit brown, never add salt. If you add salt, what's going to happen? It draws the moisture out, and they'll steam. They will never, ever brown. They'll just steam. Okay, so you got to make sure you're careful with that. Okay, put that in. And we're just going to let them brown a little bit because we don't want them to get really, really cooked because we want to taste it in the soup. So I know some of you don't like pepper flakes, but I'm going to add just a little bit because, by the time you get to eat the soup, you're going to be, sitting back. I know you worked all day. So I put a little pepper flakes in here, getting back in your throat, perk you right up. Okay? So put a little bit in. Get that going. What else is in here? Let's see. Pepper flakes, garlic. And let this go. And we're basically going to use chicken stock or chicken broth. Chicken stock, everybody goes, what's the difference between stock and broth? Stock is when you put the whole chicken in and it has the bones and the gristle and skin and everything. And then when it's done and you put it in the refrigerator, it gets very gelatinous. It looks like pudding. That's stock. Okay? Chicken broth is made from when you cook a chicken and it's the juice that's on the bottom, that you make the gravy out of. That's the chicken broth. Okay, so I'm going to use chicken broth. And this is, no, I guess I didn't get it. Usually I get the kind that has low sodium because I don't really cook with a whole lot of salt. So basically from here on in, what we're doing is throwing everything in the pot. Okay, so. Okay, so we add this. Okay. And we're going to add diced tomatoes. Okay, I'm using the diced tomatoes that are seasoned. Okay, if you don't want them, you can use the regular kind. But or if you have fresh tomatoes, you could do fresh tomatoes. If you can them yourself, you can use canned tomatoes. I would like to can vegetables, but the deer ate everything in my yard. So they ate tomatoes. They ate everything except the celery. That's probably because I didn't put any dip out there. And the eggplant. For some reason, they did not eat the eggplant. Huh? Everybody put hair out there. I go to the beauty shop, get the hair that's left on the floor, throw that around. Put marigolds. They ate Darlene's. They jumped over the marigolds, right? I tried everything. I bought a spray over at Home Depot that you spray around. They didn't do anything. So I don't know. They eat like everything. So okay. So we got that going here now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of water to that once we get this up and running here, because sometimes that stock is it's real thick. I mean, it's got a heavy taste. So I'll just add a little bit of water to it. Okay, these are white beans that we're going to add. And I'm not going to drain these. Okay, that's why I like to use low sodium stuff, because the stuff that the beans are in is kind of like a brine, a little salty. But what that does is it thickens the soup up a little bit. So I'm not going to drain them. I'm just going to leave that in there. My wife made me buy a can opener that opens on the side. But I don't know where it is. So I don't. That's only because I cut my finger one time when I was opening. The last can I was opening, and I cut my finger out and had to go to the emergency room. Everybody in the emergency room at Westfield was very concerned. They said, "Oh, you should get one of those can openers that opens on the side." I said, okay. So we got one. Okay, so we got that in there. I'm going to use some frozen spinach. It's in here somewhere. Did I take it out? Oh, here it is. It was defrosting in the sink. This is just regular frozen spinach that I, took out of the freezer right before I came in. And you're going to throw that in. Give it a stir. Okay, that's basically what that soup is. So we basically have everything in the soup, real simple and easy and quick to make. So, you let that simmer a little bit. Oops. Garlic flying around here. So we could, if you wanted to make this a real hearty kind of soup.
You didn't put the Italian seasoning in?
Oh, Italian seasoning, okay. I was going to taste it, and we'll figure it out later, But this is, Italian seasoning. Maybe you can put that in. Just, how much does it say?
Teaspoon.
Okay. Well, what's going to happen is we're going to let it come to a boil, and then we're going to taste it. Then you can tell if it needs salt, whatever. Okay. As I started to say, if you wanted to make this a real hearty soup, what you can do is take some leftover chicken or roasted chicken. You can put that in there. If you really like the people who are coming to dinner, you could put shrimp in it. Or you can put sausage. You can take sausage that's already cooked, or you could put it in the beginning and saute it with the onions. Make sausage, and it makes a one-pot meal. And then all you need is a nice big loaf of Italian bread, and you're all set to go. So a lot of things you can do with this. So when I give you these recipes are only a starting point. What I want you to do is, if you try any of this stuff, is to take it home and work with it and see if it, adjust it to how you want it to be. So, and that's basically how we operate. Okay, so we have the soup going. That's going to come to a quick simmer. If I have the right burner on. Yeah, okay. I don't know if you were here for the class when I was cooking, and I put them over here, and it was supposed to be the back burner. Well, the front one was on, it was on fire. So, so yeah, I know. Well, these knobs are a different location because my stove at home, the top is gas and the oven is electric. So I have two different systems in there, and these knobs are in different spots. So I'm always putting the wrong one on because at my house I could probably do it blindfolded. It's just like like you do. So okay, we're gonna let that go and put the cover on it. Let that come to a little bit of simmer. Well, first let's give Izzy want to taste.
Oh, sure.
Now remember, I didn't put a whole lot of salt in here, so. What we're going to do at the end, I'll put out some shredded Parmesan cheese. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you could sprinkle that on top when you eat your soup. So
That's good.
Good, need salt.
Well, I love a lot of salt, so don't go by.
Remember, we're going to put Parmesan cheese on the top, so that has a lot of salt in it, okay?
It's good.
Good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. I'm finding garlic all over the place. I don't know what I do with it. I hit that bag, it went flying. Do you have any garlic in your hair? Okay, so we're going to let that go. And now I'm going to start on the baked ziti. Okay, so that's going to be on your second page of your recipe. We'll get that in the oven because by the time that's finished cooking, the piccata will be done. The piccata takes about 5 minutes to make from start to finish, real easy. Okay, so we're going to start with the ziti. Now, a trick that you can use at home is to pre-cook or par-cook the pasta. If you know you're going to be using pasta during the week, what I usually do is on a Sunday afternoon, we're watching the Bills game or whatever we're doing there. And I know, like, by Thursday I'm going to make something with pasta in it. I'll par-cook it. And what that means is what it says on the package, like it'll say like al dente 11 minutes or whatever. Cook it about 2 or 3 minutes less than that, okay? Run it under cold water, cool it, put it in a bag, and put some olive oil in the bag. And this will stay in your refrigerator for about 5 days. Okay? So when you're getting ready to have dinner, you put the boiling water on, throw the pasta in. It takes 2 minutes to cook. Okay? Put your sauce on, and then you're ready to go. Okay? So if you're going to be making soup, like a lot of soups I'll make have pasta in it, I'll pre-cook that and put it in like little cups, cup baggies, and keep it in the refrigerator, and then add it to the soup at the last minute. Otherwise, if you put the pasta in the soup when you first make it, what's going to happen to it? The noodles get about this big and it gets all mushy. So just when you have the soup, if you wanted to add pasta to this soup, just heat it up, have that pasta pre-cooked, and add it in at the very end. Okay, and then the pasta stays whole and doesn't get all mushy. Okay, so that's a good trick that my sister showed me how to do. Now this baked ziti is very easy. I'm going to use a disposable pan because then we can just throw it away. Okay, but when you're home and you have a fancy dish you want to use, then you'd use that. You know, like there are some people that I cook for, and you know sometimes I work as a personal chef, so I have people that make me cook in their dishes. You know, they don't want anybody to know that they didn't make it. So I told them, I said, as long as you pay me and I walk out the back door, I don't care what you do with it after I leave. You know. But this is about a little over a pound I made. So you people look hungry. So, and for those of you who've been here before, I use Italian measurements. So which means that there's always stuff left over, you know. So I know some people usually come with containers that they know they're going to take stuff home. So I brought some containers, by the way. So okay, so we had that. I have some gravy or sauce. My wife goes crazy when I tell her that because my family always refers to it as gravy. Do you call it gravy when you make it, like Sunday gravy or okay? We always call it gravy. So.
Sauce.
Yeah, it's spaghetti sauce, but we call it gravy. You know, so I don't. And she's always going, that's not gravy. Gravy's brown. I said, okay, you tell my family that. Okay, so I have this, and you can use whatever sauce you like. You like Hunt sauce or whatever. You know, this I just made, so I'm going to use it. So these are quart containers, which are nice to have. You know, you could buy some of the, what do they call the Tupperware? Not Tupperware, the Rubbermaid stuff. They have the ones that are measured. They have like 4 cups, and it tells you exactly how much is in it, which are kind of nice to use if you're not sure of yourself. So I'm just going to pour this on. Okay, put that on. Check our soup. Give that a stir. If you don't like the mushrooms that big, just dice them. Okay, I like to see the big chunks of mushrooms in it, so that's why I didn't chop them further. If your family or you don't like those, just dice them. You'll see when we dish it out that it's like the big slices of mushrooms, but I like that. It's like eating a piece of meat, you know. So, okay, so we have that going. And then I'm going to add, this is shredded Parmesan cheese. Okay, it's not grated, it's shredded. Okay, I think the shredded has a lot more flavor. You know, it's like big shards. Okay, so I'm going to throw, this looks like about a half a cup, doesn't it? I don't know. Okay, got that in there. And just a little kick, Maggie. Don't get your British shorts and your bloomers, I guess, in uproar. So I'll just put a little pinch in there. Okay, I'm going to add a little Italian seasoning in here just to spice it up a little.
That's fine. That was probably all right.
Okay, and you could kind of put in whatever you want. If you wanted to, you have meatballs left over. You could put chopped over meatballs in here. You could put leftover chicken in here. You could put all kinds of fresh vegetables in here. A ziti, then you get a big ziti with fresh vegetables. Okay, so that's also very good. Okay, I'm just going to give this a quick stir and get the cheese in there. The one with fresh vegetables is something that we make at our house all the time. I like that. And sometimes we'll make it instead of with a red sauce, we'll use an Alfredo sauce. So you can use that. And if you don't want to make Alfredo sauce, you can just go buy it. But Alfredo sauce basically is cream and Parmesan cheese. That's basically all it is. You mix that together, you add a little salt and pepper, and you have Alfredo sauce. Okay, none of the Italian sauces are really that difficult to make because Italian people always had to work a lot, so they made things that were really quick. So they did that. Okay, I'm going to top this with. I don't have any fresh parsley because the deer ate it. So I was going to go out and get some, but it's gone. So I'm going to top this with mozzarella cheese. I see the soup pot's going. Take that off a little. Okay, I'm going to cover this with nice cheese. You never have enough cheese. Okay. And then what you can do on top is you sprinkle some parsley on top, and it gives it a little bit of color on top. So I'm going to pop this into the oven. We're going to go over here. We're going to have some soup, and then I'm going to get ready for the chicken piccata. Okay. So by the time this is done, you'll have your soup, and we'll get ready on the piccata.
I'm one of those people. How long should I put that in for?
This, the ziti?
As opposed to when it's brown. About how long?
It probably maybe 20 minutes. Yeah, you'll see it'll start to bubble. So you'll see when it bubbles. Okay. Okay. The soup really does not have to take long to cook because basically everything in there was cooked. The tomatoes were cooked. The mushrooms, you want them to be a little crunchy. You don't want them to be mushy. And the onions, you want them to be a little crunchy so you taste it when you eat it. Okay. So this is basically ready to go. I'm going to add just a little bit of water to that. If I could find a... I have a new teacher in here, so everything's moved around. This is the last time I was here. I'm just going to add about a cup of water. Okay, so that's ready to go. What's going to happen now? I'll set this over here. You guys you have to serve yourself. I will cook for you. I'm not serving you. Okay? So I'll put everything over here, or it'll be easier over there. I'll put everything over there because it'll be easier for you. And we don't have to move the camera. I'll put some bowls, spoons. Okay, see if we can find a ladle. Just stick your hand in and get it. Yeah, just got to be a ladle here somewhere. Aha. Okay, let me get some spoons. Now I bought these are premium strength. So when we get to the chicken, I'm hoping that these little knives in here cut the chicken. Otherwise, just pick it up and eat it like you're at a picnic. Okay, time to eat. Okay, glad you enjoyed the soup. There's plenty there to take home, so I'll put some containers out there and you can take the rest of that home. We're going to move. We have the baked ziti is in the oven. The cheese is just starting to melt on the top of it, so we'll be ready to go. I'm going to show you the difference in amount of money you can save. These are, and I'm just using this for the class, these are thin-cut chicken breasts, okay, which is what you want to use when you make piccata. Okay, you want them really thin. These sell for $4.99 a pound. Okay, you could buy regular chicken breasts for $1.99 a pound. All you have to do is take the chicken breasts and cut it in half, put it between wax paper or saran wrap, pound it down a little bit, and make it thin. Okay, so you save yourself quite a bit of money if you do it that way. Okay, I wanted to bring these in just to show you. The other ones I have in the oven, I did that way. I cut them in half and made them myself. But this I wanted to show you because I wanted you to see the price on these. You know, you could save a lot of money by just making your own. So what we're going to do is we're going to use those, and we're going to flour them. All that piccata does is you season flour, you dredge the cutlets in the flour, and you fry them. you you know, not deep fry them, but I'm going to put a little bit. I'm going to use vegetable oil in this because kind of olive oil it doesn't hold the temperature as well. You know, so I'm going to use vegetable oil a little bit. Usually use canola. Well, this is canola oil, so you know, I like canola oil and vegetable oil. So you want to get the pan nice and hot before you put the chicken breasts in because you want them to get a nice little crust on it. So what I'm going to do is get this going. I'm going to put this on medium high. Okay, just to get it heated up because it won't take us very long to do this. When you want to flour stuff and you don't want to make a big mess, you know how messy it is when you're flouring things. Get a piece of foil like this, heavy-duty foil, and we're going to make like a little box, like when you were in kindergarten. You know, you just fold the edges over, and then just open it up like this. Okay, so you end up with like a little pan. Okay, and then what you do with this is just throw it away because you can't use the flour again, you know, because it's cooked and you're putting it in the chicken. Okay, so I have some flour here. This is just plain regular old flour. Well, it's not old, but I mean it's just regular flour. You know. So just throw that in there, and we're going to season it. I'm going to add some salt and pepper. And basically, when it says season the flour, that's all it is: salt and pepper, and sometimes a little garlic powder. You could put that in. Okay, so get that in. Give that a little zhuzh. Get it around there. Okay, there you have seasoned flour. Okay, we have our cutlets all ready to go. If I was going to make this at home, I would cut them in half, put them between saran wrap, or instead of saran wrap, what I use is one of those gallon baggies, and I just cut the edges off because that's a lot thicker, and it holds up. You can do a whole lot of pounding on that one, and it holds up really well. Just make sure you moisten the inside of it with water because that allows the meat to slide. Sometimes if you put it in dry and you start to pound it, it'll shred. Okay, so just put water in there, and it'll help it spread out. Okay, so these are thin-cut chicken breasts. You can say fairly thin, okay? I'm just going to dredge them in here. And when you dredge the chicken, all you're doing is just coating it real quickly. You're not dipping in an egg and, you know, everything else. So just okay, one more here. You know, this is very hard for me because when I'm home, do you think I use these tongs? No, never happens. Do you use them? No. Use them when you get it out of the pan. So, and then you're supposed to use one hand for dry, one hand for wet. I always forget which one it is because, you know, because I'm the dyslexic cook. I'm like, yeah, okay, you know, just okay. But there, I'm trying to be like the people on TV.
Yeah.
So, and if you want to test to see if the oil's hot enough, you take a little bit of the,
I thought you were going to put your finger in it.
a little bit of that, and put that in there, or dip your finger in it. So it's not quite hot enough yet. So I'm going to turn that up a little bit. Okay. Now again, what I did at home is I made some of the sauce. You know, so what I'll do is when we get this going, we'll make sauce in the pan, and then I'll add that to it because I have more cutlets in the, you know, keeping warm in the oven there. So one time when I was teaching a class, somebody asked me that because I did 6 and there were like 14 people in the class, and they said, "Do we have to cut those in half, or how are we going to eat those?" I said, "Do you have a problem with that?" You know, they were like, "No." I said, "No, there's a backup. Don't worry." That's like I used to keep a towel on. There's a drawer right here, so I always hung a towel over here. So I was always going like this. Everybody wanted to know if I was wiping my hands on my pants, you know. So then I said no, because I didn't wear an apron. So then I said, I guess I better wear an apron so people know that I'm not wiping the hands all over the place. Okay, that sounds good. So I'm going to get these in here. And because these are so thin, it's not going to take very long. Well, I smell cheese, so it's either the ZD's getting there or my deodorant's not working. So let's see what's going on here. Oh, it looks good. Okay, that's going to be just right when we're ready to go. So we're going to get that going. Okay, these are what you add is capers. We're going to add some capers in there, and we're going to drain them because they're like a vinegary brine, and what they are they're flower buds from a caper plant. That's what they are. I like these. I like the taste of them. Some people don't like it. If you don't like them, just like, pick them out a little bit. But the flavor, it gives the sauce a nice flavor. Okay. I hope this is white wine. Okay, white wine. Got to make sure.
What else would it be?
I don't know. I went to the doctor today. You know what that could be? I don't know. So it is white wine. I just wanted to make sure my wife always yells at me. She says, "You can't bring that. You're working up in the school." I said, "But I'm cooking with it. I'm not serving it." So okay, so these are going. Let me get the rest of these going here. I bought 2 packages. I didn't know how many were in each package. You got to be careful when you buy those because sometimes you don't know. It doesn't say how many are in there. So you may end up taking some of this home too.
Yeah, really.
The chicken's still alive. Okay. You got to make sure you got to keep your eye on these because they'll burn. Now look at the size of this one. Look at this poor little baby. That's a breastette. Okay. It'll just start to get a little bit of color on it. That's what you want. You see, it just starts to get brown. You don't want it burned. Okay. Let me get these in while there's room. Okay, I have one more in there. And take the capers, and I'm going to drain off the brine. So I'm just going to, there's not very much in there, so it'll come off. Or if you're real smart, you can get a strainer and dump them in. But I don't want to go look and find out where all the strainer is. Okay. Get that going. We're going to use the zest of the lemon, and we're also going to use the juice. Okay, and that's going to make the sauce. That combined with white wine and some chicken broth. Okay, that makes the sauce. What happens with the in the pan, because there's flour on the chicken, that'll act as like a slight thickening agent. Okay, so you won't have to add anything to thicken it up. Okay. I can smell that ziti, I'm telling you. Okay, this is what it's looking like right now. So another minute or so, it'll be ready to brown up a little bit. The other thing you don't want to do is you want to make sure that you don't undercook this. Okay. So in order to get our dessert going, which is going to be basically a ricotta cheese cream filling, I'm going to have to use the food processor. If you don't have a food processor, you could still make this. Just make sure you get some ricotta cheese that's very smooth. Okay. You get, sometimes you can buy it at the deli counter. And it's real smooth, kind of. And you can use a mixer to do that if you don't have a food processor. Okay. One of the things I discovered that was really great was, you ever use a Ninja? You ever hear of the Ninja? Food? It's like a food processor thing. It's wonderful. It works great. I use it for almost everything. Okay, this has got some nice color on there. Okay, I'm going to take that out. A couple of pieces were a little thicker, so I'm going to leave that in there. Get that last one in. The stove is so uneven. It's like all the oil is down there. Okay. So now we're going to clean up. Got the flour going. That's it. Dishes are all done. I am not a baker. I don't really like to bake. So when you have a dessert on these classes you take from me, you know they are the easiest things to make. Okay? It usually involves ice cream, pound cake, fresh fruit, or some kind of cheese. Okay? Baking to me drives me crazy because you have, half a cup of this, half a cup of that, and then if you don't get it right, then the whole thing flops. Well, forget it. I'll make cookies. I like to make cookies. Especially like biscotti cookies because you make them in a big loaf. You get like 24 out of a loaf. But if you have to make these little things that you have to decorate, and don't call me. That's why they make eklofs. I don't do that. Okay, so we get these going. That looks good. Okay, a couple more pieces in there. Okay, I'm going to turn this off because that is... I think I turned it off. Okay, I'm going to take that out because that... Okay, so there you have it, like a little brown on top, and at the end, if you had parsley that deer haven't eaten, you could sprinkle it on top, or you could serve a little extra gravy or sauce on the side that people can just help themselves. Okay, that's just about done. I'm going to take the other backup out of the oven. Okay, those are the ones I did this afternoon. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make the sauce in here. And normally what you would do is put all of the chicken breasts, you're probably not making for 12 or 13 in your house. So you put the chicken breast back into the sauce and let it cook so it gets covered. Okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to put these all in this pan. I'm going to make the sauce. I'm going to dump the sauce on top of it. Okay? So it's easier for you, and then you can just help yourself. Okay? So we have one more little breast in there that's waiting to cook, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm just going to arrange these in the pan so I can get the sauce on them. That's just about ready. Okay, I'm going to zest this lemon. Okay. I have a microplane which works really well, but I forgot to pack it, so. And make sure when you're zesting that you only get the yellow part. You don't want that white part. The white part's very bitter. Okay? And make sure when you're doing this that you zest the lemon before you cut it. Okay? I've seen people cut the lemon in half, and then they're complaining, how am I going to zest this? I said, well, what'd you do? You cut it. You can't zest it now. So you have to start over. But I mean, it sounds like something really simple, but people do it. Okay, so we got the zest going. Now these lemons are kind of hard, so let's just back then. What you want to do is take the lemon, and you can either put it in the microwave for about 10 seconds or just roll it, and that'll start releasing all the juices. Okay, let me take this out. So what's happened here is it's got a nice little color on there, and you have in the bottom of the pan all the little brown, ugly stuff. That's where a lot of the flavor is, and that's the flour that's cooked, and that's what's going to help thicken the sauce. Okay, so don't throw that out. You want to leave that in there. Okay, so what we want to do is called deglazing the pan, which means we're going to add white wine. And if you're not real crazy about using white wine, you could just use all chicken stock. You could do that, or vodka. No, you just. But so I think we need about half a cup. What does it say? Whatever, you'll see. Most of it burns off. Yeah. I'm not going to do with the rest of it. Okay. So what you want to do is take your spoon and scrape the bottom, and you'll scrape up all those little bits that are in there. It'll start to calm down. Okay, I'm going to throw in the zest. And let me find a different knife. I cut the chicken package open with that, so I don't know, Then you want the juice. Now when you're juicing the lemon, just hold it up like this in your hand so that the seeds will stay in the top. Okay? And then your hands will smell nice. Okay? Give it a little tilt. Or you could use a juicer, which I have, but I don't know where it is.
He's honest. He's honest.
But so if you make sure you hold it up, because then the seeds will stay in. Or if you get the seed, then you win a prize. So. Okay, give that a little stir. And you could see if I don't know if you can see up there, but you can see it start to thicken a little bit because of all the flour that's in there. Okay, I'm going to add the capers. And remember, we're doubling this sauce. So, okay, and some chicken stock. I didn't add any salt and pepper to this because there was salt and pepper in the flour. So, but we'll have to give it a little taste to see if that's what we need. But before I do that, I'm going to add, this is the sauce that I made this afternoon. And basically what I did this afternoon is I just made like a little roux with the flour and chicken stock because I had fried a little bit of the chicken and got that going. So. Okay. Carolyn, you want to give it a taste test since you're a prize winner from the Post Journal Cooking Book Contest?
Ooh, I like that.
And then I'll taste it too, and then I'll tell you you're wrong. Ooh.
Oh, it's very good. You can taste that wine.
That's good. I like that. Boy, you can taste that wine. Okay, so that's it. You can let that come to a little boil. Gonna throw that over here. Move everything over there. And you guys can eat, and then I'll get the stuff ready for dessert. Okay. I'll put the soup. Let me find a big spoon for that, so you get a nice big spoon of that. Okay, that's coming to a boil. It's going to be ready. Okay, I'm going to take the chicken. I'm going to turn this off because that's all you want to do is just to come to a simmer. And I'm going to pour this sauce over the chicken. Okay, what I'll do is I'm going to leave these tongs in here. There's a little spoon over there, so when you take your chicken out, you can get some of the sauce on it. And the ziti's over there, plates are over there, forks over there. Now you have to get up again. Okay, the last thing we're going to make for this class is a sweet chocolate ricotta, and we're going to use ladyfingers as dippers in it. So instead of a spoon, you're just going to dip that in there and eat it. Okay, very simple. We're going to use ricotta cheese, and I'm going to pop this in the food processor. And I know the recipe says, you know, this will make like 6 or whatever. And this is just Wegmans ricotta cheese. I like whole milk ricotta cheese. If you're fussy about that and you want to use skim or whatever, then don't eat this. Okay, but yeah, you could make it use whatever you want. You know, I just like the whole milk stuff. I'm not really into all that fat-free stuff. I mean, if you just eat less of it and use the real stuff, because a lot of that stuff has sugar and all kinds of stuff in here. So, okay, so I'm going to throw in some cocoa powder, and this is sweetened cocoa powder. Okay. Just going to add that in, and then I'm going to process this a little bit so it gets smooth. Okay. So kind of, if you can see, kind of looks like a thick chocolate mousse. Okay, we're going to add some other stuff into that. Okay. Going to add powdered sugar. And if you don't have powdered sugar, you could put a little bit of vanilla extract and regular sugar in here. What happens with ricotta cheese, though, is if you put regular sugar in it, it tends to get watery. Okay? If you don't have powdered sugar and you have a food processor in your house, put regular sugar in your food processor and process it, and you'll make powdered sugar. That's all that it is. Okay? So I'm going to put some of this. We're going to taste this at the end, so I'm just kind of like putting a couple of scoops in. And we'll see what it tastes like at the end. Okay, I'm going to put some orange zest in. Okay, and then I'm going to juice this and put the juice in. You can use Grand Marnier, which is a lemon liqueur. Orange liqueur. You could use that instead of orange juice, if you like that. Okay. I'm going to zest it right over the bowl so I don't have to dirty anything else. And again, you want to make sure you only get the orange part. give this a quick process. I like the flavor of chocolate and orange together. There's a candy bar that has chocolate and orange put together to it. And at the end, we're going to put some chocolate curls on top, some shavings. I'll show you how to do that real quick. Okay, I'm going to juice this lemon, this orange, whatever this thing is. It doesn't have any rind. I can't tell what color it is. Let's see. Okay. Going to roll that again and get as much juice as we can. And ooh, this looks really good. Doesn't that look good? Looks like a blood orange. Okay. Okay. That's basically all that this dessert is. Okay. You scrape the sides down a little bit. Now this you could make the day ahead and put it in a container and leave it in your refrigerator. Okay? If you want to get fancy with it, you could serve it in like little champagne glasses, put like chocolate curls on it, and put the little cookies on the side. You don't have to use ladyfingers. You could use any kind of butter cookie, any kind of cookie you want. Okay? Okay. And taste it. You thought I didn't notice you back there taking a nap, huh?
But I'll run for chocolate. Delicious.
Tastes good to me. Then, at this point, you could adjust it. If you wanted more powdered sugar or more chocolate, you can just adjust it. But this tastes good to me. Okay, so all we're going to do is put this in some little glasses. And let's see. Linda, you want to help me again with this? We have 6 more in the refrigerator, so don't worry about that little container. Linda got here early. She helped me put some of it together. So let's see. Get it over there. Okay. I'll get these out. These are lady fingers, which are just, they use them when you make tiramisu. This is the crust in the tiramisu. Okay? So you can find these right in the regular cookie section of the store. Okay? Make some room. Now, if you want to make chocolate curls, just take a regular chocolate bar or, a thick. You get those real thicker chocolate bars. If I can get it open. Or if you wanted to, you could dice some strawberries. I put diced strawberries on top. You could macerate the strawberries in a little orange juice and give them a little flavor, and put that on top. All stuff you could do way ahead. Okay, you could make it all ahead. So to make the curls, shavings, all you want to do is just take the chocolate bar and you take a potato peeler and you just start going down like that. Okay. And then you just sprinkle them on top. Okay, so nothing really to that. I mean, that's pretty easy. Were you able to get 7 out of there, or 6, or whatever?
Pardon my fingers, ladies.
My hands are so warm, the chocolate's melting in my hands. That's the other thing they need to work on is the heat in this place. Holy man, it's hot in here.
You just start stuffing it.
Okay, so we got those, fairly decorated. Take these, put 1 or 2 in, whatever you want. Then if you really want to get to the bottom of it and use a spoon, they're over there. So. Well, that was our class for this session, and I hope you enjoyed watching and learned something along the way. If you could not attend the class and are interested in the recipes, you can email me at nrizzo@roadrunner.com. I would like to thank Chautauqua Lake Central School, Mrs. Amy Redmond, all my class participants, and my wife Kathy for her support in my many crazy endeavors. Thank you.